I've created a form with text boxes for earthquake name, location, magnitude, tsunami. Here's the buttons, and I've also started to create the search button over here. I'm going to sort them in alphabetical order. I'm going to say in there search, and also right at the top we'll have BTN search. Spell it right. Now we just remove the button up, resize it, and you can change the fonts and so on. Now in order to create the coding, I'm going to click on button save, which is going to start with save, but before I do that I'm going to create my structure first of all. So we're going to start off with a structure for earthquake data type, and then it comes up with the end structure. So I'm going to have 4 variables here, so it's going to be called earthquake name as string. Just deal with strings for now, don't bother with integers, and we can convert those when we import the data. So dim magnitude as string, and also dim tsunami warning given, don't have any spaces in there, as string also. Right, and now we're ready to save. I've already set the structure up, so I'm now going to declare a variable here, dim earthquake, which is the variable that I'm going to refer to as, and I can just say it's a data type. Now, earthquake then will have earthquake name, location, magnitude, and tsunami warning given whenever I need it to be used. Now I'm going to dim SW as new system.io. We're writing to a file, so it's StreamWrite. The file is going to be called txt, and we'll also set it for true. Then I'm going to populate the variable earthquake name equals txt earthquake name dot text, and earthquake dot location txt location dot text. So this is quite easy to build up. In here though, I'm going to set the structure size, so L set to the end, and I'm going to make that 10, giving it a name, and I'm going to do that for each of my variables. So it's going to be 10. You choose whatever numbers you need to have. Once done, then we can now make a long variable. So I'm going to say earthquake line as a string, and it's going to equal, I'll put it on a different line, although it doesn't need to. So earthquake line is going to be all of these variable elements combined, and I'm going to use that ampersand shift and 7 and combine earthquake.magnitude. Doesn't take too long to do then. Once you've set earthquake.tsunami, close brackets. Now we're ready to write to the file. So SW, which is what I've called it up here. So SW dot write line, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to write the earthquake line to that file. I'm also going to tell the user that information is saved, and then I'm also going to close the StreamWriter, and that will save the record. So you decide on the length that you want here. Now, in order to view all, we're just simply going to start the stream. This time it's the stream reader that we require. The same file, earthquake.txt or .dat, whatever you use, and again true. Now this time dim my text as string. This is going to take the whole line of text from the file. Dim count also, it's important to know how many records there are, so I'm going to say equals 0 to start with, and then while not, now I'm going to start reading. So star.end of stream, while not the end of file in essence, my text equals sr dot, and I want them to read a line. And then in my list box, lst earthquakes.items.add, and get it to add my text. Right, so very little, again, very little typing, and save, and that will run. If it doesn't run and read a line, you need to put brackets in there after the read line. Forgot that a little bit. And at the end, just message box, all records. Let's tell the user that the process is complete. Right. Now we're going to go on to searching. So the searching, use a similar idea first of all to the read all records, but then we are going to look at each record with its structure of 10 bytes or 10 characters for earthquake name, 10 characters for location, 3 and 3, in order to find out if the location equals whatever the user has said. So I'm going to start with dim my location as string to equal, let's get the user to enter it via an input box, or if you want to, have a text box on the screen. Enter a location to search. Let's just put the O down a little smaller. Just put the O down a little smaller there. That's right. Okay. So I've got what they want. I'm going to say dim found as boolean to equal false. So I'm going to assume it hasn't been found as yet. I'm going to start off a new list, my earthquake list as new list of string. So it's going to input all the values into each element of the list, and I also need to as integer, so this will keep a count of all the records, and I'll start it off as a 0. So I'm going to enter in a search criteria. We haven't found it, but when we do find it, I'm going to set found to equal true, so we know that it's been found and it can be shown in the list box or in the text box. So let's read all the variables, all the earthquakes into while not. Don't forget to open the StreamWrite SR as new system.io.stream reader txt. So we read all the records in, and now I can do while sr.not end of stream. And what do I want it to do? I want it to read each line in, but this time I'm going to add it to my earthquake list rather than the list box. Dot add sr.readline. And we'll put that in. Although that's not specifically required, we could leave it like that this time. Go on. And I'll increment count records equals count records plus 1. Alright, so that will populate the list box. So now we're going to have a look to see for I equals 0 to count records, but -1 because we know that the first element was in row 0, so therefore the last element's in row n-1 or count records -1. Let's add. And this is where we're now going to say If my earthquake list, row I, let's go, if my location equals mid, oh, let's get that typed in properly, get rid of all this other rubbish. So right, if mid, open brackets, my earthquake list, let's go to capital M, which it would have had, my earthquake list I, comma, now I know that the record starts in position 11 and is 10 characters long. So if my location, which I've just entered as a search, is equal to those characters, then I know that we can add lst earthquakes dot items dot add and add that earthquake However, what we can also do is add to txt earthquake name dot text is going to equal mid my earthquake list row I comma 11 comma 1 comma 10, so that'll be the earthquake name. Let's make sure I've got the right number of brackets, and you can do a txt earthquake location dot text equals mid, so I'm getting from that position, we did this in previous lesson, comma 11 comma 10. I'll just finish off with let's get rid of that error here. I'll just finish off with txt magnitude dot text equals mid. You'll note I've made my lengths of each variable easy to calculate, and then we finish off with, and for tsunami warning is going to be position 24 and it'll be 3 characters. Alright, so if it's there we can add it to those. Alright, and at the end of it, what I'm going to say what I also need to add to it is also say found equals true. And I'm now going to say if found equals true, then message box all earthquakes shown, or we could also say else message box no earthquakes in this region.